Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Loki, and today we're going to be taking a look at a preview of the Week 9 matchup between the 6-1 Seattle Seahawks and the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Coming off an all-around dominant victory for the Seahawks against a heavily injured 49ers team last week, they're definitely going to have a much bigger challenge this week against the Bills. The Bills are a really strong team this season. They started the year out 4-0 and now they're 6-2. They're definitely a very well-rounded team. Their defense is not doing as great as it has been in previous years. Their offense hasn't been doing amazingly the past few weeks, but overall, this is a very solid team with some really good players. This game is almost certainly going to be an offensive showdown with a lot of stars on the offensive side for both teams. The Bills have Josh Allen, who is a great quarterback. He is in the MVP talks this year. He hasn't done great the last 2 weeks, so he might have a bounce back game and do absolutely amazing this game. Who knows? They also have Devin, Singletary, and Zach Moss, who are an absolutely amazing 1-2 punch right now at the running back spot for them. They also have Stefon Diggs, who they traded for in the offseason. He's playing absolutely amazing right now, one of the top wide receivers in the league. They have Cole Beasley, who's solid. They have John Brown, who's solid. So overall, this is just a very solid offensive team, and so are the Seahawks. With Russell Wilson, who's an MVP frontrunner on a historic start to the season with 26 touchdowns in just 7 games, the Seahawks passing offense is one of, if not the best offenses in the league. And with insanely talented wide receivers in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, both with 7 touchdowns and both well over 500 yards with DK almost at 700, this is definitely a strong offense, and that's not even mentioning the solid players they have in the receiving core. David Moore has been playing great as our wide receiver 3 this year. Freddie Swain has come in and played pretty well as a wide receiver 4. Our tight end group is really strong with Greg Olsen, Will Dissly, and Jacob Hollister. I believe we might have Colby Parkinson this game. So overall, both offenses are very strong. We are dealing with some injuries still at the running back position, so let's get into that now. Injuries are once again going to be a pretty big problem for the Seahawks this week, with Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson both out for the 2nd game in a row. Our defense will also be continuing to take some hits with Shaquille Griffin, Benson Mayowa, and Ugo Amadi all still being out. So with those 5 players out, those are some pretty key players. Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde obviously are the backbone of our run game. Deejay Dallas played pretty well last game. Travis Homer should be getting a lot more snaps this game because he is a lot more healthy than he was last week, but I still believe Deejay Dallas is going to be the main guy. I believe Alex Collins is on our practice squad. We could call him up if we need to, but I don't know if we're going to be doing that because Deejay Dallas did actually play well last week, so I don't think it's too necessary to bring in Alex Collins. But really, the injuries on the defensive side of the football could definitely pose a problem against such a strong passing game. With Shaquille Griffin and Ugo Amadi out, we are losing 2 really good corners, so of course Stefon Diggs is going to be someone we got to watch out for. John Brown can kill us deep, and Cole Beasley, he's just a really solid underneath guy. Benson Mayowa, like I said, is also out for this game, so that hurts our pass rush, which already isn't that great. Carlos Dunlap, who was recently acquired through a pretty solid trade for the Seahawks, is going to be playing this game, so that's definitely nice to see. Jamal Adams is thankfully going to be playing this game after missing quite a few weeks, so that is definitely a nice thing to see because our defense, it has been struggling all year, but Jamal Adams, he can definitely come in, make some blitzing plays, he can make some plays in coverage. Overall, he's just an amazing safety, so it's definitely going to be nice to have him back on the field. And when it comes to the Bills, there's not too many key injuries for the Bills. Josh Norman is going to be out, so at least he can't get stiff-armed this week, but that's really it. Last week against the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills came out and played pretty well. Josh Allen completed 11 of his 18 passing attempts for 154 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown and he did have an interception. But the story of this game was definitely the run game for both teams because the Buffalo Bills, they had 190 total yards as a team and 3 rushing touchdowns, and the New England Patriots had 188 yards and 2 touchdowns in the run game. Both teams had over 5 yards per carry, and this is something that the Bills do really well. Their run game is very good. The past few weeks, their run game has been unstoppable, but their run defense also hasn't been good whatsoever in the past few weeks. For the Bills, honestly, I don't think that their run defense is going to be too much of a problem for them this week because, of course, Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are both out for this game. Deejay Dallas is definitely a solid back, but last week against the 49ers, who given are a pretty good defense, they are injured, but they're still a solid defense overall. He was pretty inefficient. He didn't have too many yards per carry, but he did have 2 touchdowns. So overall, a good day for him. Hopefully he will be able to have another good day because, I am starting him in fantasy. And when it comes to the run defense for the Seahawks, I do think we need to be pretty worried about the Bills because they are definitely a solid run team. They've been doing really well the past few weeks. And although last week we did hold the 49ers to just 52 yards on less than 2.5 yards per carry, they're definitely an injured backfield, and the weeks before that, we allowed 360 yards in just 2 games. Honestly though, neither one of these defenses has been playing super well this season. Both of them are average to below average. So honestly, I'm not too worried about this being a defensive game that the Seahawks lose like the Cardinals game. I think this is definitely going to be an offensive showcase where Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are going to be going crazy, and Russell Wilson and either DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett are probably going to be going crazy. The run game is probably going to get involved for both teams, but I think this is definitely going to be a mainly passing game where both teams are just scoring a lot of points. Josh Allen hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in the last 2 weeks against the New York Jets and the New England Patriots, who haven't been too great this season. So honestly, he probably is in line for a bounce back game. Hopefully he just continues to do bad for another week and then has a bounce back game next week. But honestly, after not throwing a touchdown in the last 2 games, I definitely think he's going to come back and probably get at least a few this week. But one of the main things that I want to see this game is the Seahawks using Bobby Wagner more, because honestly, last week he played out of his mind when he was allowed to blitz. He had 2 sacks. He was making a ton of plays in the pass game still. He was still making tackles, getting tackles for loss. He was playing insanely well when we let him blitz. And now that we have Jamal Adams, who's going to be another blitzing threat, and we have Dunlap, who's going to be a pretty good pass rusher coming in, hopefully, Bobby Wagner being another option to just throw in the pass rush and just blitz, that is going to be super good, and I hope that we continue to allow him to blitz. Bobby Wagner, he was asked about it after last week, and he did say some pretty positive stuff. He said he really enjoys blitzing, and I really want to see him continue to do so, because Jamal Adams, he's going to come in, probably get a lot of blitzing plays, probably do pretty well. But Bobby Wagner, if we just completely stop him from blitzing this week, unlike last week where he did insanely well in the blitz, I'm going to be very disappointed. One thing that I think is going to be a key aspect that I haven't seen talked about much is going to be ball security for the Seattle Seahawks, because although the Seahawks have been very good at not turning the ball over when it comes to the fumbling situation, I haven't really seen any fumbles. There probably have been a few. I don't really remember any. But the Bills are a very good defense when it comes to punching the ball out, trying to force fumbles. That's how they ended the game last week against the Patriots. They punched the ball out of Cam Newton's hands, forced a fumble when the Patriots were in field goal range and could have sent it to overtime. So just an amazing play by their defense that really just won them the game, sealed the deal. The Bills defense, although it is middle of the pack this season when it comes to the rankings, they're still a very strong team with a lot of great players. So we need to watch out. We can't really let our guard down. We have to make sure that we're protecting the ball, because fumbles are something that will completely ruin the game for us if we allow the Bills to start punching the ball out of our hands. But overall, I'm pretty confident in this game. Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions last week against the 49ers. Going back to the early season Russ that was throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, just playing out of his mind. Josh Allen hasn't thrown a touchdown in the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, he could have a bounce back game or he could continue to struggle. I think the Bills defense is going to be pretty decent. We got to watch out for them punching the ball out. I think the run game for the Bills is going to be really good because, I mean, our run defense is okay, but they haven't looked great recently. They played good against the 49ers, but that is an injured team, so really we don't know how they're going to do after playing really poorly the 2 weeks before. And really, our secondary hasn't played well this season, and with Shaquille Griffin and Ugo Amadi out, Stephon Diggs can definitely cause us some problems if we're not careful. So overall, I mean, this is definitely going to be an interesting game. I think this is going to be an offensive game, a lot of passing, a lot of running, just a lot of touchdowns, a lot of entertainment. But overall, I'm going to predict that this is going to be a high-scoring win for the Seahawks. I know in my initial predictions before the season, I said this would be a loss going into Buffalo, playing the Bills, who are a very strong team. I thought this was going to be a really tough game. But with Russell Wilson playing so well and Josh Allen playing so poorly coming into this game, I really think that Russell Wilson will completely outperform Josh Allen. And if not, I'm going to be disappointed, honestly. I don't think this is going to be a game like the Cardinals where it comes down to the defense, but I do think like the Cardinals game, this game could go either way. I don't believe this is a guaranteed lock win like it was last week against the 49ers, who had a ton of injuries. I think this is a game that could go either way. I'm going to say a 38-28 victory for the Seahawks, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a 38-31, 38-28, just a high-scoring win for the Bills as well. And with that, that's going to be it for this video. Leave down below in the comments your thoughts on this game. Will Russell Wilson come out and cook yet again? Will Josh Allen have a bounce-back game and do well, or will Josh Allen continue to play poorly? I think this is definitely going to be an entertaining game, an offensive game like the Cardinals game was. Hopefully a little bit more in the Seahawks' favor and less interceptions thrown by Russell Wilson. But like I said, I think this is going to be a good game. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you're still here, I hope you enjoyed the video. I got a friend who's a Chargers fan, so if you want to go over to his channel and show him some support on his videos, you can. The icon is going to be below my icon on the left side of the screen. If you want to click on that, watch some videos, leave some likes, maybe go ahead and subscribe. That'd be pretty cool. I bet he'd enjoy that. But if not, that's fine. That's it. Have a good one.